Welcome back, everyone. This is the Game One Loves Forever, the golf podcast, and thank you for joining me for another episode. So today, I'm just gonna get right into it. One thing that's always on my mind, and I don't know, it's obviously you can, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that I bring it up quite a bit. But I'm going to talk about the golf handicap system and kind of what really it is, and deep dive into it a little bit. I came across one of my golfing buddies brought me the Wall Street Journal, and it had, a golf section in it, which is pretty cool because, I was kind of looking around for, not really stuff to talk about, but maybe there's articles and stuff that, not everyone sees or something I can bring to the table, right, and talk about. So, and one thing is always that I'm interested in, because I think that the handicap system is a little weird, and maybe just because that, I've been beaten by the handicap system. And as you know, Mitch and I have talked about it. And it's just an interesting thing that not a lot of us understand. I mean, I think most of us have an index. If you play golf a lot, you have an index, or you want to get one, or you kind of want to dive deeper into getting one, because it's almost like, for a golfer, I feel like it's like your identity, right? So if you're thinking, oh man, I'm only a 15 and handicap, and you're like, but really 15 is not bad. I mean, it's probably the average. And if you just keep playing, get better, and try to lower your handicap and post your good scores, you can you can have a better vanity index. But so first thing is, like, what is a handicap, right? So, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways for it to be calculated, but from what I read, or what I got the gist of, it's basically like your 8 best scores from your last 20 rounds. So that's why some people are like, oh man, my handicap's about to go up because this 70 or 80 or whatever, one of their good scores, right? It's about to drop off, just because the more you play, the more that it moves around. So, I mean, I've toggled back between a 9, 9.5, 9.7. Right now, I think I'm a 10.1, 10.5, 10.5. So it's kind of moved around, and every time I put it in, it's like, you're adjusted, or your I don't know, what is it? Estimated. So your estimated index is going to be 10.1. And I think that's funny, because I don't update it till the next day, which is kind of interesting. Why? I mean, it's a calculation. It should be like right now. I mean, when they say estimated, that's pretty much what it's going to be. I've never seen it change. I think it's just something that they probably have to put in just in case, you're playing the next day, or you're playing that day, or whatever it may be, right? So that's the way they keep a uniform system. Also, when you put in, depending on what handicap system you use, but I use, I think it's the GHIN USGA handicap system. I got it through my men's group, so I just logged in through there and just kept adding all my scores. But I was, kind of entering them late, or maybe I had a few and then I would enter them, and it said, please, it's very strict. It's like, please only enter them the day of that you play. And I was kind of interested about that, but I guess because they take in all accounts, whether it's the day, the time, the how the course has been playing. So so now I started, I mean, it's like I got scolded by a AI, or scolded by an app, right? So I try to my best ability to upload it the day I play it. So I've been better. But so going back, it's the 8 best scores, and you can move it up, down. You can only, so I know some people who only enter their good scores, or I mean, I've never seen anyone do this, but I've heard that you can, at the last, I don't know, a few holes, you can sandbag it, and like, oh, I don't want my handicap to get too low, so I missed this putt on the last 2 holes and added 2 more strokes to your score. So I've heard of that. I've never seen it done. But I mean, I guess when you're playing your men's championship league, you have to, if you really want to win and you're just that vain about it, I guess that's what you can do. But so that's pretty much what the handicap is. It's what I read and how it's explained essentially is that let's say you play like a regular course and the par, or basically it says your handicap's a 14, and that day it's going to give you 15 based on how the course is playing. So, and then what tees you play from, right? So, it will adjust from your, it will adjust from course to course, from tee to, from the forward tees to the back tees. If you're playing blue, white, even the blacks, it's going to be a different course. I mean, I've played Empire Ranch from the Reds just with a couple buddies, and it was actually pretty fun. Like I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'm missing out on the course, or maybe I'm not gonna post it, but it was a fun way because it was like a whole new course. It was a brand new course. It was like I'd never played Empire before because every shot was a little different. Or maybe I was closer. I was hitting a different wedge. I was, the par threes are shorter, so I had to hit, wedges in. So I kind of liked it because it was like a brand new course. So that was kind of a cool aspect that I didn't think about before, that even though, you play this course 100 times, maybe start switching up the boxes and being like, hey, this week's all red, or play from the tips and see, if you want to take that on, and just play from the tips from your course and just like, all right, here we go. So that, I thought that was a pretty interesting, eye opener for me, is playing different tees, which I haven't gone back to play it, but and I guess even with the handicap system, you could post that score. If you play from reds, it'll say, let's say if you're a 10 and you play from reds, it's like, okay, you're a 4, you're a 4 handicap here, or you get 4 strokes or whatever, from the reds. So there again, that will adjust it for you. So that's, handicap system is pretty cool. The more I dive into it, I think it just burned me a lot in the beginning, and still has burned me when I give people strokes, or, just giving like someone who hasn't played in a long time, but they have a 15 handicap, but I know they're at my skill level, and then I give them the 6 or 7 strokes that according to the handicap gives them, and then they kill me by 15 because of, they beat me by 8, but then with the 7 it's like 15 strokes. So I think I've just been burned a few times, but the more I dive in, the more I do like the handicap system, and it kind of makes it even too, right? So that way, my buddy, for you guys to know, Rich, if he gets a handicap, we can play, one-on-one and play either stroke play or match play, and it would be an even game with the handicap. So that's kind of a cool aspect that not many other sports have, because you can level the playing field. Whereas like if you play basketball, it's like, if the other person is like a professional and you play against professional, I mean, you're still playing the same court. You're still playing on a 10-foot rim. You're still, you're still 6 foot and they're 6'10" dunking on you. So, it's kind of cool that, if we did play with the pros, they would get their handicap and we'd get ours. And like Scotty said, I don't know if I said this before, but Scotty said back in the day, or back a few weeks ago before a tournament, that his buddy is a 10 handicap and beats him just because of the strokes. So in that case, I see why, like, better players may not like playing against their friends, because 1, they may not keep it updated. 2, they are getting a lot of strokes, and then 3, they can turn it on any day, and that day you're done. But I guess, I mean, if you think about it, I guess you could turn it on any day. What's to say, like, if I turned it on, I couldn't shoot in the low, mid 70s. So, I guess there's a argument for both sides. But so I also wanted to see, and in this article it said, what the average handicaps were in the United States, or maybe in all over, or worldwide, but pretty much United States. It said that the average for men is 14.2, which, now if you're a 15, or if you're in that teens range, 86, 87 every round or so, I mean, you're right there with the average. So don't get so hard on yourself and beat yourself up, because, you're right there. So if you just get, and a lot of my friends think I'm, people I play with are like, oh man, you're so good. I'm like, I'm a 10, and that's only 4 strokes better than the average. So, I think I just have some good shots that wow some people, and I can hit pretty far. So I think that kind of helps me when people see me play and think I'm pretty good. It's the other stuff around the green that screws me, and then they keep playing with me and they see like, oh, okay, there it is. So there's his flaw. So no, and then 20, and this is an interesting one, 28.7 for women. So what is that? I mean, they're barely breaking 100, or that's 28 is 100. So yeah, I mean, that's an interesting fact, because I think it's good too, because I never knew what the average for women is. But now if my wife gets into it, that at least be a good measuring stick. Like, okay, well, first let's get on the course and play and make sure you do like it and you love it. And I'm pretty sure once she hits that, 100 yards out, hits that shot and just bounces right up next to the pin and is pure flush, I know she's going to be hooked. So, but it's nice to see, for one, I mean, for the podcast, but two, just when I talk to people now or play with women and they're shooting the hundreds, I mean, that's average. So that's pretty good. But I played with some women who shoot in the, high 80s, low 90s. And so they're really good. And she is really good. The one I played with, she's pretty decent. I mean, if she's on, she's on. So, but here is an interesting fact of handicaps. I didn't know that only 13% of golfers carry a handicap. So what that means is there's like 30 million golfers or whatever people golf each year, and only 13% of them actually carry a handicap. So, I mean, that does make sense, because I don't know, a lot of people like know their average. Let's say, oh, most of the time I shoot 85, and they'll say my handicap's a 12, or, my handicap's a 13, 14, 15. But really, they've kind of just told you the average of their score, when I think if you keep track of your index, it gives you a better estimation. Also, when you're just giving your average, you're usually giving your like bad day. So like, for instance, I would say, a 10 means you're shooting 82 every time, right? Or that's your average, or that's your median. So on a good day, I'm shooting an 82. So if I was to tell someone, before I would tell someone, oh, I'm like a 15, before I actually held one for quite a while, I'd say, oh, I'm a 15, but not realizing. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, that's an 85, 84, 85. Really, that's 87, 88. And those are usually, my okay, bad days. So I was already getting a leg up on if we were playing a handicap game. So now that I've actually got one and played more, I would say it's around 10. If I can figure out this chipping thing, it will be, I'm hoping I can keep it in single digits, and not just for vanity. Like if I'm shooting, 80, 81 consistently, then I'll gladly wear a 7 or 8 handicap. So I'm not a vanity. I don't want it just to be low. So I'm only going to post the 70s, right, to get it low. And then when I go out, because I think if you're going to hold a vanity index, then you're really only going to I think you're just going to hurt yourself, because if you ever do actually play, you better have your A game, because that's what you've been posting. Whereas if you post your bad scores, then you get a real sense of where you are and you won't lose the game. But if you're just worried about saying, oh, I'm a 6 or I'm a single digit and going from there, then by all means, just post your low scores. So, but I think for me, I want to be where I actually am. And from now on, I will actually give for the most part, I'm not going to bet everybody that I come across, but some of my buddies who I know are pretty legit, and I'll bet them. But someone off the street, if they're like, "Oh, I'm a 15 handicap," I'm like, "No, I'm not." I'll bet you like $1 a hole. That way, worst case, I'm out $18. But yeah, I wouldn't bet big money with someone I don't know, or I don't, doesn't have a real index. But I'm also not gonna like, hey, let me see your phone. Now pull up your index right now, or I'll search their name, right? Because that's one thing too. You can search people's index if they have one. You can search their club, or if they're in California, you can search their true index. So, plus for people like there was a while where I hadn't played in a long time, and it was still like super low. And I mean, granted, the lowest I've ever been, I think, is 8.1, and that was just a string of good rounds, and see that too. I was at 8.1, and that was not indicative of how I was playing at the moment later on. So yeah, it's always been a battle between me and handicap system, the indexes, and as you can tell, I'm for it, but then I slowly kind of talked myself out of it right there. But no, I do like it. The more I've kind of read about it, and it's kind of cool to see where you stand with other people, right? So, because if I'm a 14, then I'm not too upset because I know that I'm right there and I can only get better, right? So, and if you do get better, if you get to the 10s, even a 12, you know that you're better than 50% of the people. So that's kind of a cool stat to know. So yeah, so anyway, 13% of people only carry an index. So that goes to my theory of don't bet people you don't know, because you don't know if they really carry one. So, and hardly ever do we bet big money, at least not my friends group, because just it adds some flavor to the game, but we're not worst case like $25 for the round or $50. But if you want to know the PGA Tour average, or just some of the top players, they're about a +6. So that means they're shooting 6 under every round on a typical day or typical course. That's their good day. So, I mean, even if they shoot like 2 or 3 under, I mean, that's good. I would take that all day. So I don't think I'd be on the tour, but I could hold my own at least. Another thing too is like, these muni courses or just the local courses. I think some of the country clubs are going to be pretty nice, and I played them recently. But you also got to remember that the courses that the pros play on, I mean, they're top of the line. Not top of the line, but like they're taking well manicured. They're super flat and firm. I mean, when they putt, it's like putting on this table. It's that flat. Like I was putting. Maybe they just sanded, or it had healed, but there's still some sand and rocks left on the hole. And one of the ladies putted it, and it was perfect. I mean, it was going to go in. Well, we all say that, but it was going to go in and literally hit a rock and kicked right. I'm like, what are the odds of that? I mean, that's not going to happen on the Pro Tour. The PGA Tour would never come back to that course. So it's just little things like that, right? Like that's not going to happen. I mean, I'm pretty sure she would have made that putt, or at least been super close. But once it hit that rock, it was like you weren't even. I mean, it kicked it right. It literally took a right kick away from the hole. So, yeah, I mean, I would say that I would like to play a pro course just to see like the difference, right? I guess you could play Pebble, but that's going to cost you a lot of money. Maybe Torrey, is it Torrey Pines? Yeah, maybe Torrey Pines you could go play, or any of the TPCs. But yeah, I would like to see how pristine, the greens are. And I mean, not like that's my problem. My problem is chipping, but yeah, it was. It would be it would be cool to see like just the difference, right? Like everything's gonna roll true. The against the I would like courses where you actually have to consider the grain. I mean, sometimes you should anyway, just to see. But I have more recently, but before this year, I never checked the grain on any of the courses I played. So, for those you don't know, the grain on the green is basically which way the grass is growing. So so for instance, if you're putting against so you check if you're against the grain, you kind of just rub your putter against it, and if it feels rough, it's against it. So if it's against it, I mean it's going to slow your ball, in theory. And then if it's the other way, so if it's with the grain, it's going to be smooth. So that means it's going to go with it and it's going to roll further. So those are just little adjustments that you can make if you're uphill, downhill. So if you're uphill and against grain, I mean, we're getting in the weeds here, but if you're uphill and against the grain, you're going to have to hit a little bit harder anyway because it's uphill, and even a little bit harder because it's against the grain. Now, if you're putting uphill and with the grain, you could probably almost even those out depending on how high the slope is uphill. You could probably almost even those out and just hit like it was a flat putt. But then downhill and with grain, I mean, you're going to tap that thing and it's going to roll 10 feet. So those are just little things that, that I've started to pay attention to, and it has helped actually quite a bit. And I've started to do it more at like Empire, which is my home course, and just to understand the differences. And shout out to Empire Ranch. If you guys are in the Sacramento area, go play Empire Ranch. Their greens are amazing. Like, they've started a new punching technique, and since then, their greens have just been super fast. Like, really fast and really fun to play. Yeah, frustrating at times, but really fun. So go play Empire's greens right now. They punched them probably by the time this comes out, probably a month or two ago. So it's been a while, but last time I played, they were healed and pretty fast again. So it was a lot of fun. I prefer faster greens, and I think they just roll a little bit more true. So, although sometimes I do like smacking a putt like on slower greens, I guess, and smacking a putt, and it's just like no matter how hard you hit it, it's going to end up by the hole because it just slows down. So, but getting back to handicaps, the last thing I will say on that is there's two types of, there's just your average person who puts in all their scores, right? And then there's a term that we use for kind of what I was saying, like the vanity index people. So they're just only posting let's say they're like me, but only post the scores in the 70s. So like this year, if I was to get my goal of 10 rounds in the 70s, I would have only posted those. So what that means is like my handicap's going to be like a 4 or 6 or whatever it is, right? It's going to be low single. And the other day when I shot a 76, I went out the next day or week later, whatever, shot at 88. So it's like it has no bearing. So if I was a vanity person, I would not even touch the 88. I wouldn't even touch anything in the 80s beyond that. And if I had a blow up round 92, definitely not that one. So I would just keep all my low rounds in there. So that way, when anybody asks me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a 4. But if I go to the course or bet, I'm not going to win most likely because I'm using my, 4 handicap, and I'm probably going to play like a 82. So, or shoot at 82. And so that's the one thing I don't get about the vanity people is that, yeah, it's cool to say, but when you have to actually go out and perform or you have to do that, like, you're gonna get beat, or especially playing handicap. But yeah, so that's one I don't get. It's basically that's why I think they call it a vanity, because you're just doing it so you can say you're a 4. But on the court, but you're never gonna bet anyone, or you're never gonna actually play, or you're gonna be that guy who's like, oh man, just today's not my day, or oh, I played 2 rounds this week, my back's hurting, or you'll have an excuse basically, and you'll just be one of those guys that, oh man, yesterday I was striping them yesterday, just not today. So I haven't played with a lot of those guys lately, but when I was a single, or when I would go out and play as a single and join up, yes, I was that weird person who would go out by myself and join a group. But when I would go out and, I'm not playing great, but I'm still hitting the ball far, good strikes, same old story, chipping, putting. But, with that, when I play with those guys or just get into a group, that's kind of what the excuses, I would get a lot of excuses like that. Oh man, I was playing this course last week, and I played way better. Or, oh man, I just didn't warm up today, or whatever. And I'm like, and really, I mean, people are kind of worried about that, but I, I didn't care how they played. I was just kind of focused on, I mean, it's a cool conversation, not them complaining, but, or excuses, but just, conversation, hanging out with new people and playing golf. If they shot 120, it wouldn't bother them, wouldn't mess up my day. So I don't know why, it's an interesting thing that we have to come up with an excuse, or we just feel that need to be like, oh, I swear I play better. So, I mean, I think as long as you keep pace of play, no one's worried about how you're playing. So as long as you get up, swing, or get up, hit, and go. My buddy Travis, he's the definition of ready golf. Like he literally, I don't think he takes a practice swing. I think he just literally stands up, gets up there, tees it up, sets up, boom, swing, gone. And then same thing with his iron shots. I don't think he takes practice swing. I'll have to go back. I recorded a few of our shots, and I'm like, I can't remember, but yeah, he is ready golf. So I'm not sure if slow golfers bother him. I mean, we play with my buddy Jack. We played with Jack, who's been on the podcast too, and I mean, Jack likes to take a few practice swings, but he's not slow by any means. But I wonder if if slow people or playing with slow people bothers him. So I'll have to ask. But yeah, so the vanity one, no, don't understand it. I just want to, if I am a 6, I want to play like a 6. So I'm not gonna lie. And then the other one is, we all know it's a sandbagger, or that's the term for it. So basically that one is someone who does shoot in the 70s, but will never ever report it. And they're more like, oh, I shot an 88. Oh, oh shoot, I'm 10 over on the last hole. And so now I'm gonna double or triple. So that way because usually you can only max 2 over net when you're a mid handicap. So the double bogey's usually the most they'll let you take. So you'll be like, oh man, I'm 12 over now on the back because I'm a double bogey. So just to keep their index up, so whenever they play those indexed games, they got a leg up. So, or even worse, like they only post their really bad scores, which is like 88s, 89s, 90s, let's say, but they really can shoot in the 82s. And because I have seen, like, in the men's group, like there's some guys who are like, I don't know, have a 12, 15 handicap, but then go out and shoot like a 77. And I'm like, there's no way. So their net's like, what, 60? I'm like, they shot net 60? Really? Like, if you're shooting net low 60s anything, you need to you're, in my opinion, you're sandbagging. Like, and you just happen to have your best day ever in a tournament. Like, come on, like that doesn't make, like, I don't know. That's get me back on the side of, I don't like handicaps, but keep going back and forth this whole episode. So unfortunately I don't think there's any silver bullet for it. There's no true fix. It's like people are going to post what they want to post for whatever reason they want to post, and meaning report their scores, and we'll just have to live with it and just don't bet the people you don't know. I think that's pretty much it. And for the sandbaggers, there is, like with our club. So, and I think most any like leagues you join, if they notice that you start to, let's say you're a sandbagger, and they notice that you start, I don't know, killing it every match, right? Or you're just playing way better. They will start to take your average from the tournament. So I believe they do your index from tournaments, your index that you report, and then I think there's another one, or maybe ours does away tournaments too. So home tournaments, away tournaments, and then your actual index, and they'll take the lowest of them. So I think that's good because then if you start shooting the 70s every time you play in the men's group, then that's your new handicap. So I like that aspect. And I forgot, yes, because they do have an away index that they hold because a lot of these guys too, like when you don't play your home course, you go, let's say you're a 12 handicap and you did shoot that 77 that day at Empire, but then you go to Winchester or you go to any of the country clubs and then all of a sudden you're shooting your 86 again. Then I'm like, okay, that makes sense because, with your home course, you play it all the time. So you do know, you know what you're going to score or where you can miss, where where you can hit the ball or not hit the ball. So, I mean, even I, have a sense, but I like to hit driver all the time, so I don't play it safe. And we always play from the white tees for tournaments, but that's all good. I'll just have to learn how to hit not as far, which is something I'm going to work on, or maybe just see. So this is bringing up another topic. Hitting like 3-wood or 5-wood off the tee, for some reason, I just don't feel comfortable. And I would rather hit an easy driver or like a slower driver, meaning like just a slow swing speed driver and put it out there, 220 if that's what you need. Because I feel like just the mishits on 3-wood sometimes off the tee for some reason are just like pull hooks. And for some reason that doesn't happen when it's on the ground because I'm comfortable hitting, from the fairway, 3-wood, 5-wood. But for some reason, just off the tee, maybe something mental, maybe it seems like it's like a smaller target. I don't know, but it's just not as comfortable for some reason. And see, if it's all mental, then you know that your body's going to pull hook it. So I've been deferring to just a light, easy driver, and that's been working out for me. At least at Empire. We'll see. I've been playing. The only time I haven't been playing recently has been in like scramble tournaments. So we'll get to that one later, but on another day. Got a lot to talk about that one. I mean, that's another hot topic that I think will continue to come up and new ideas or new things I see because I play in a lot of them. So, but the last thing, this is going to be a little bit shorter episode, but I did want to go over, have some news, ding, 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 ding. But I finally broke 80 again. So yes, thank you. I know everyone's clapping in the cars or listening or watching on YouTube. Yeah, you're like, who cares? But, I'm just sharing because it's one part of my resolution. So, hey, 2 out of 10, finally, broke 80 again. So now it's funny that I'm actually talking about the sandbagger person or index on this episode because first off, I played at Castle Oaks and Ione. Shout out to Castle Oaks. If you guys haven't heard, if you're in the Sacramento area, they are actually closing here soon, if not already by the time this comes out. So luckily we got out to play it, and I was kind of worried because my golf group was out there, and I was kind of worried because I was like, okay, if they're closing at the end of the month, then are they taking care of the course? But honestly, it was like they were still, going to be open. Like there was no. Now I think some of them believe, like the workers or employees or the city think that they're going to keep the course or they're going to find a buyer, or whatever it is. But I know that there's a lot of behind the scenes things with the owner and the city, and just it's unfortunate because Castle Oaks is one of my favorite courses. I kind of forgot about it for a while, but it was like I held one of my regional like sectionals for golf there when I was in high school. It's just always held, and I would have scored really well and probably gone to whatever's after sections, I guess. But back in high school, I don't know, I think I was on track to break 80 or shoot 80. Let's say if I part out, because I just birdied 16. Let's see, what is it? I have the scorecard right here. Yeah, it's 15. So I just birdied 15, and if I could par 16, 17, 18, which they're hard holes, so that's not by any means was doable. But in my head, I'm like, hey, if I par out, I could, possibly qualify. And par 3 it's over a ravine over a ravine onto the green. If you go long, you're in the shit too. Lost ball. So, or in the hazard. And I just chunked 2 into the hazard, had to hit a third one. So what is that? Hitting 5 off the tee, final on the green. I think I ended with a 7. And then after that, I was just done for. And I just kind of mentally, I knew I was out of it. So, but even then, it held a place in my heart, and I wanted to get back and play it. And like I said, I kind of forgot about it. And then we recently just played it a few times, and it was like, man, this is still a nice course. Like, I'm kind of bummed that they're closing. So anyway, getting back to kind of my score that day, I was, so I birdied the first hole, which I don't know if you played Castle Oaks, a par 5, off the tee. And I feel like their first 2 holes are pretty hard, and it kind of slows play right off the tee box because it's a par 5 one. So you have people who might be waiting in the fairway, might not. So you could have 3 groups, 2-3 groups waiting on a par 5 to start the hole or to start the round. Then you have a hard par 3 over water, and it's kind of around water all around. And if you don't hit it on, it could be, anyway, it's a harder par 3, and then it kind of takes off after that. But I just feel like those first 2 holes kind of hold you back, or hold everyone back, because if you're not playing well, especially when you first start, because I know for some people it takes, a few holes to warm up, right? So, but anyway, I got lucky. Lucky. I mean, it was 2 good shots. So, and I birdied the first hole, and then basically went on a kind of a par run, and I was still even. So I birdied that, but I bogeyed later on a par 5, good old 3 putt. And, so I am even after 6. So I went birdie, par, par, par. Wait, birdie, par, 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 bogey, par. Then bogey, so I'm 1 over. And then I went par, bogey. And so was that 2 over? So at 38. Then on the back 9, I parred the first hole, birdied the next 11, par 3. And it was, I mean, from where we were standing, I haven't been close to a hole-in-one in a long time. And that was probably the closest I've felt in a while. I mean, when we got up there, it was still probably a good, I don't know, as long as this table, I don't know, what is that, 2.5 feet or something? It was definitely within 3 feet, but it just looked like it landed in front of the hole, and it looked like it was going to roll up and roll in, and it just kind of ran out of steam. But that was the first time, and everybody was like, oh, we're like waiting. And that was actually the first time my heart kind of fluttered, because I was like, oh no, my whole group's here. It means I'm going to buy them all beers and shit. So I was almost more worried about paying everybody or buying around for everybody than actually getting the hole-in-one, which is kind of funny. I'm like, oh no, if it's just a foursome, I'm cool. But since all, I don't know, 16, 20 of us were there, it would have been an expensive bill. But so anyway, I did birdie it, so that's the good news. I birdied it, and so I'm back to 1 over. Then I go par, bogey, par, par, bogey. So what was that? That's 2. Let's see. Yeah, 2. So I was 2 over going into, hey, get this. It's 2 over going to 16, 17, 18. My nemesis holes, right? So par 3, landed on the green. I mean, I'm far from it, 'cause the green's kind of like a peanut shape, but not facing you, but kind of perpendicular to you. I don't know if that's the word. But so it's like this facing us. So you tee off, and I was here and the pin was over here. So I had a long putt, again, 3 putt bogey. I'm like, okay, hey, I got out of there. I did have flashbacks of going in the ravine, which was scary. But I landed, we're safe. And then, so I'm 3 over, fine. Then I proceed to go double to end. And it almost looks like I'm a sandbagger, because I was like, oh, I'm 3 over. This is too good. I need to keep my handicap up. but that definitely was not the case. It was just some tough holes, and didn't play smart. Let's just say that. And if you played Castle Oaks, you know on 18 it has the layup, not really a layup, but it'd probably be like I don't know, 5-iron to the left. It's an island you can cut across to, or you can just hit a driver and go to the right. Well, I split the two and went straight into the water because you have to just hit a little bit further to get over. And yeah, because you can go like this, but I went right down the middle and went right to the water. So, and then something that's been happening too recently is that, like, with my 58, or even I think it was a 54 I even hit, I've kind of shanked a few. I mean, almost like I think we talked about it last time, like the Rory shank, where it was like I hit it and it went direct. I mean, I still got it, but it went like directly. So if I'm aiming at you at the camera and it's like I went like 45 degrees right. So it was kind of interesting. And that's what I did. Luckily, I made it over the water this time with my second shot, but I'm hitting drop 2 hits. I'm hitting 3 up to the green. And then I chipped kind of on and still 2-putted. So that's a 6. So, but yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times recently. And so that kind of worries me, but maybe I was just thinking, maybe I just didn't close with my grip or something. I don't know. When that happens, I wish I had it on camera because I really don't know what happens. It just goes directly 45 degrees to the right. So, but at least, well, every time it's happened, it hasn't hurt me other than going to the right. It's still in play, still chippable or whatever, but just really interesting that that's happening. I need to fix that. Well, I need to fix my chipping in general, but so yeah, so that was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over. So it's a 78. So yeah, I got a 78 over at Castle Oaks, and I'm glad if they don't reopen, which I pray that they do. I hope that they, can find somebody who wants to take it over, or the owners are willing to sell it, or whatever it is. I hope they fix it and that they do keep it open and we can go back and play, because I do love that course. But I'm glad the last time I played it, if it is the last time, I did break 80, and I will hold that score in my heart, and that course close to the chest there, and I conquered it, even though the last 3 holes did get me. The 6s to end, that's still looks horrible in the scorecard. It looks like I was sandbagging, but yeah, I mean, the fact that I could still double both the last 2 holes and still break 80 is, hey, that's a testament to how I was playing that day. My driver's on, iron shots were on, I was 2-putting everything. So, well, obviously I had my bogeys were 3 putts, which is interesting. So, I guess if I don't have to chip, I can play pretty well. So yeah. So, but yeah, anyway, I just wanted to come on and share the good news, and got 2 out of 10. So it's April now, May. And I think I feel really good this year. I think I feel pretty confident I know I've only got 2 out of the 10 rounds for 78, or in the 7. I don't know. I have this weird thing that I keep saying 77 or 78. Like, those are the numbers, but around in the 70s, breaking 80, I feel really good that I can do that 10 times this year, maybe even more. Maybe I'll get on a run and just kill it. But we will see. I'll keep you guys posted, and anytime I do, I'll probably post on Instagram too, and my stories and show you. So you might know before this all comes out. But yeah, I mean, it was a great day. I had a lot of fun, and hey, 2 out of 10. Here we go. So let's get it. And I just want to say that's pretty much all I had today. So I just want to say thank you to Chuck. Thank you for letting us film here at X Golf. It's just me again, and I did not put those up as vanity. Those 300-yard drives or anything. But yeah, I'll just leave those there for you guys if you're still watching. So we'll see how many people are still watching by this point. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following along. I've kind of really enjoyed doing this single podcast. Just get to talk about whatever I want to talk about. Keep it short and simple. And not to drag it on for you guys and kick out some episodes and just get some new topics. So yeah, again, thank you for watching. Please, if you do, enjoy what I'm doing here, please just click the subscribe button. It's an easy, free thing for you to do, and it just helps me, helps my channel. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. And thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. Peace.